You guys look so far away from up here now. Okay, so my favorite movie of all time is Serendipity. So I'm assuming most people in the room have seen that, but for those who haven't, basically John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale are just like meant to be together. Like, not only does the world just revolve around their love, but like the entire universe just exists for the two of them to like fall back in love and like find each other through like a series of the most unlikely circumstances. So because that's my favorite movie, I'm just always like on the lookout for like my moment of serendipity. And I gotta say, I've had some pretty close calls with it. Like one time after class one night, I was a little hungry, so I decided to stop at Harris Teeter, which is actually like the mecca for like where most romantic situations happen in my life. And I wanted frozen pizza and like frosted mini wheats because it's a great dessert if you didn't know. So I'm heading back to the frozen pizza aisle, and I'm looking for my very favorite like DiGiorno Pizzeria thin crust, like spinach and mushroom pizza. And I throw open the door, and I grab my pizza, and I see kind of like through the foggy glass, like this really tall guy like walking towards me. And I'm like, okay. And I like lean back a little bit, shut the door, and it's this like 6'4", like just hot guy, like walking towards me, like black, like V-neck tank. He's like black Jordans, like dark denim, like just looking good. Kind of like scruffy beard. I'm feeling it. So I decide, okay, this could be like my moment where I'm Kate Beckinsale. Like this is it. Like serendipity is afoot. So I decide like I'm gonna get his attention. So I'm like, okay. And I do a little strut by just testing the waters. And like nothing. It does not look at all. So I'm like, okay. Let's try this again. Get the girls out, do a hair flip, and try to strut again a little slower. Does not look like he is like focused on the frozen pizza in front of him, which I get. I mean, I get it. So I'm like feeling a little defeated. And so I'm like, whatever, like I'm too nervous to actually talk to him. Like, I guess this isn't my moment. Like, I'm not Kate Beckinsale. He's not John Cusack. Like, I'm going to go home. So I go home, and I'm texting with my friend. She might be in this room, or I'm not sure, but I think she is. And texting with her about how I totally like chickened out and couldn't just go up and talk to him. And so we decide, well, maybe I can post on like Craigslist misconnections about him. Like maybe there's a chance we can salvage this moment. Like maybe serendipity can still happen. So I get on Craigslist, like do a quick description of him, quick description of me, and I'm like, if you think this is you were at the Harris Teeter in Canton, like tell me what time you were there and send a picture. So I had done that the next morning, and like a couple hours later, I get an email, and I'm, kind of excited, but also like, okay, I bet this is some weirdo. But I open it up, and he's like, hey, I actually think you're talking about me. Like, I was at the Harris Teeter that time, too. It was 8:30. Here's my picture. So I open the picture, and, like, it is him. Like, it is the guy, and I'm freaking out. And I'm, like, telling all my friends at work, like, oh, my God, you're not going to believe this. Like, this is happening. Like, I'm getting married. Like, we're having babies. Like, this is happening. Because why else would that happen? Like, it's so meaningful. So we start exchanging emails, we exchange like phone numbers and stuff, and we're FaceTiming and like we're flirting and things are going well, and he asked me out for that weekend. So I'm, getting excited, like telling my mom, like, Mom, like this is the one. And then the night before we were gonna go out, we're FaceTiming, and he's like, hey girl, let me see your tits. And I was like, what? And he's like, no, seriously, like just show me real fast. And I was like, damn it, if you had just waited one night, like I probably would have shown him to you anyways. Like just take me to dinner first. You would have gotten to see him afterwards. And so then I kind of like redirect the conversation, whatever, and I don't show him. Then the next day he texts me, he's like, hey, I actually want to cancel our date. Like I feel like you're a little boring. And there's a lot of insults that like I would take and like say like, yeah, that's true. Boring is not one of them. Okay, I reject that completely. But it like kind of shook my self-confidence a little bit, and also like. Why would something like this happen just for you to reject me? Like my hopes had gotten so high. Like I, was like 2 minutes shy of starting my like website on the Knot, and so I was just really questioning like how could this happen? Well, a few weeks go by, and I get another FaceTime call from the guy, and I answer, and he's like, hey, I was just thinking about how things ended. Like, I feel really bad. I was, kind of a jerk to you. And I just wanted to know if you would want to go out again. And I'm like, okay, maybe, like, I don't know, thinking about it. And I was like, I'll think about it. He's like, well, actually, like, if you're not doing anything now, I'm hanging out with my friend. And, maybe you could come, like, chill with us. And I'm like, okay. And he like hands the phone to his friend, and the friend is like talking to me, and I'm kind of just like weirded out, but also just like trying to play it off because like I'm pretty cool. I'm like good on the fly, so like I can make natural conversation. And then he gives the phone back to the first guy, and he's like, actually, we were wanting to know if you wanted to have a threesome with us. And then I finally realized why all of this happened. I had never had a threesome before, so I think maybe this is the moment of serendipity where I finally got to reject 2 guys at one time and say, boys, bye.